The morning sun filtered through the studio windows as Lorraine Kelly's show kicked off with its usual upbeat energy, the audience buzzing with anticipation for the day's guests. Eugene Levy, the beloved comedian known for his iconic roles in films like American Pie and the heartfelt series Schitt's Creek, was scheduled to appear, promoting his latest documentary about travel and self-discovery. As the cameras rolled, Lorraine welcomed him with her signature warm smile, the crowd erupting in applause. Eugene, dressed in a casual blazer and jeans, settled into the plush sofa, his bushy eyebrows arching in that familiar, endearing way. The conversation started lightheartedly, with Lorraine praising his career longevity and asking about his family life with his son Dan. Eugene chuckled, sharing anecdotes from their collaborative work, describing how their on-screen father-son dynamic mirrored real life in humorous ways. He spoke passionately about his new project, emphasizing themes of exploration and personal growth after years in the spotlight. The audience laughed along as he recounted funny mishaps from filming in remote locations, like getting lost in a foreign market or dealing with unexpected wildlife encounters. Lorraine nodded enthusiastically, steering the talk towards his evolution as an actor, from early improv days to becoming a household name. Eugene's responses were humble and witty, drawing more cheers from the viewers. But beneath the surface, there was a subtle shift in the air, as if the producers had something more provocative planned. Lorraine, ever the seasoned host, kept the flow natural, but her eyes hinted at the curveball to come. The segment seemed poised for a feel-good interview, yet the resurfaced controversy from one of Eugene's older films lingered in the background, a topic that had been bubbling on social media for weeks. Critics accused a particular scene of cultural insensitivity, sparking debates about accountability in Hollywood. Eugene, unaware of the ambush, continued to engage openly, his voice steady and engaging. As the minutes ticked by, the discussion delved deeper into his philosophy on comedy, how it bridges gaps and heals through laughter. Lorraine interjected with compliments, building rapport before the inevitable pivot. The studio lights gleamed, the atmosphere electric, but no one could predict the storm brewing. Eugene shared a touching story about mentoring young actors, stressing the importance of kindness in the industry. The audience hung on every word, the segment unfolding like a cozy chat between old friends. Yet, as the commercial break approached, Lorraine's tone subtly sharpened, setting the stage for the confrontation that would make headlines. The exchange remained cordial for now, with Eugene oblivious to the trap being laid. He sipped his water, relaxed and genuine, embodying the charm that had won him legions of fans over decades. The show's band played a soft tune in the background, adding to the relaxed vibe. Lorraine laughed at his jokes, her Scottish accent lilting through the studio. But the clock was ticking, and the real drama was about to unfold, turning what started as a promotional spot into a viral sensation that would dominate online discussions for days. The narrative of the interview, so far, painted Eugene as the affable star, but the shift was imminent, ready to expose the tensions beneath the entertainment facade. As the paragraph winds down, the anticipation builds, mirroring the viewers' growing curiosity about what comes next in this unexpected turn of events on live television. Transitioning smoothly from the laughter-filled reminiscences, Lorraine Kelly leaned forward slightly, her expression turning a tad more serious as she broached the subject that had been teased in pre-show meetings. Eugene Levy, still smiling from the previous banter, listened attentively as she mentioned the recent online backlash regarding a scene from one of his early 90s comedies. The film in question featured a comedic bit that, in today's lens, was seen by some as perpetuating stereotypes, and social media users had dug it up, demanding apologies from involved parties. Eugene's face registered mild surprise, but he responded calmly at first, explaining the context of the era and how comedy often pushed boundaries to provoke thought. He emphasized that his intent was always to entertain without malice, drawing from his own experiences in the industry where norms evolved rapidly. Lorraine pressed on, quoting specific tweets and articles that labeled the content problematic, asking if he felt a need to address it publicly. Eugene nodded thoughtfully, acknowledging the changing times and expressing regret if anyone felt hurt, but he firmly stated that retroactively judging art through modern standards could stifle creativity. The audience shifted in their seats, sensing the rising tension, as Lorraine countered by highlighting the responsibility of public figures to evolve and educate. Eugene, maintaining composure, shared how he had supported diverse voices in his later works, like in Schitt's Creek, which celebrated inclusivity. But Lorraine didn't let up, bringing up similar cases with other celebrities who had issued statements, implying perhaps Eugene should do the same. His responses grew shorter, his tone edging towards defensiveness as he reiterated that he stood by his body of work while being open to growth. The back and forth intensified, with Lorraine framing her questions as journalistic duty, while Eugene began to question the relevance to his current promotion. Whispers rippled through the studio as the exchange heated up, Eugene's famous eyebrows furrowing in frustration. He elaborated on the challenges of comedy in a polarized world, where every joke risks offense, but Lorraine interjected with examples of successful adaptations by peers. Eugene countered by pointing out the hypocrisy in media outlets amplifying old clips for clicks, suggesting the real issue was sensationalism over substance. The dialogue danced on the edge, still civil but charged, as Eugene tried to steer back to his documentary, describing its focus on cultural exchanges. Lorraine, however, circled back, probing if ignoring the criticism alienated fans. Eugene sighed audibly, explaining his approach to feedback through actions rather than forced apologies. The segment, meant to be brief, stretched as the debate deepened, captivating the live audience who alternated between nods and gasps. Producers in the control room monitored closely, debating whether to intervene, but the raw authenticity kept them glued. Eugene's passion shone through, defending not just himself but the art form he loved, while Lorraine held her ground as the inquisitive host. As the conversation looped, Eugene's patience visibly thinned, his hands gesturing more emphatically. The studio lights seemed brighter, the air thicker, as the once friendly chat morphed into a philosophical clash on accountability and entertainment. Viewers at home, tuning in for morning fluff, found themselves drawn into a deeper discourse, tweeting reactions in real time. The paragraph captures this pivotal build-up, where words sharpened like knives, setting the scene for the explosive climax without overt drama yet. The tension in the studio escalated palpably as Lorraine Kelly persisted with her line of questioning, her voice steady but insistent, challenging Eugene Levy on what she described as a pattern in his earlier films that might not align with contemporary values. Eugene, now visibly agitated, leaned back in his seat, his usual affable demeanor cracking under the pressure. He accused Lorraine of ambushing him with topics not discussed in the pre-interview briefing, calling it unprofessional and designed to provoke rather than inform. Lorraine defended her approach, stating that as a host, she had a duty to address current conversations surrounding her guests, especially when they intersect with public discourse. Eugene shot back, his voice rising slightly, that this wasn't journalism but tabloid tactics, exploiting old content for ratings at the expense of genuine dialogue. The audience fell silent, the earlier laughter replaced by uncomfortable murmurs, as the exchange turned fiery. Eugene elaborated on his frustration with cancel culture, arguing it often lacked nuance and targeted creators unfairly, while Lorraine countered that accountability strengthened the industry. He interrupted her mid-sentence, a rare move for the typically polite star, to emphasize that he had never shied away from growth but refused to be shamed on national TV. Lorraine's eyes widened, but she pressed on, asking if his defensiveness indicated guilt. Eugene stood up abruptly, removing his lapel microphone with a deliberate motion, declaring that the interview was over because it had devolved into an attack rather than a conversation. The studio gasped collectively, cameras zooming in on the unfolding drama as producers scrambled behind the scenes. Lorraine attempted to de-escalate, urging him to sit back down and continue, but Eugene shook his head, stating he respected himself too much to participate in such theater. He walked towards the exit, his footsteps echoing in the hushed room, leaving Lorraine momentarily speechless on the sofa. The control room buzzed with urgency, cutting to an unplanned commercial break as the screen faded to ads. Backstage, Eugene conferred with his manager, venting about the blindsiding and affirming he wouldn't apologize for standing his ground. Meanwhile, Lorraine composed herself off camera, consulting with her team on how to address the walkout upon return. The incident, captured live, sparked immediate online frenzy, with clips circulating before the show even resumed. Upon returning from break, Lorraine addressed the audience directly, apologizing for any discomfort but standing by her questions as essential. She wished Eugene well, transitioning awkwardly to the next segment. The aftermath rippled through the studio, with staff exchanging wide-eyed glances, aware they had witnessed something unprecedented. Eugene's exit wasn't just a departure, it was a statement against perceived media overreach. Social media exploded with divided opinions, some praising Eugene's backbone, others criticizing his abruptness. Lorraine's show, typically light, now bore the weight of controversy, boosting viewership ironically. The paragraph delves into this climactic moment, painting the raw emotions and split-second decisions that turned a routine appearance into a memorable clash, highlighting the clash between celebrity privacy and public scrutiny in the entertainment world. In the immediate wake of Eugene Levy's dramatic exit from Lorraine Kelly's set, the studio atmosphere remained charged, with the audience whispering among themselves as the show hurried back from commercial. Lorraine, regaining her poise, spoke candidly to the camera, expressing regret that the conversation had escalated but reiterating her commitment to tackling tough topics. She transitioned to lighter fare, introducing a cooking segment, but the elephant in the room lingered, evident in her slightly strained smile. Backstage, Eugene gathered his things, declining interviews from waiting press. And heading straight to his car, his manager fielding calls from concerned publicists. News of the incident spread like wildfire across social platforms, with hashtags like #EugeneWalksOut and #LorraineClash trending within minutes. Fans rallied behind Eugene, applauding his refusal to be bullied, sharing memes of his iconic eyebrow raise captioned with defiant quotes. Critics, however, accused him of dodging accountability, sparking debates on artist responsibility. Lorraine's supporters defended her journalistic integrity, while detractors called her questions insensitive. Media outlets picked up the story, with entertainment sites publishing blow-by-blow accounts, embedding the viral clip that amassed millions of views overnight. Eugene broke his silence later that evening via a social media post, stating he had entered the studio expecting a positive exchange but left when it turned adversarial, emphasizing self-respect over forced contrition. He thanked fans for their support and teased more from his documentary, turning the negativity into promotion. Lorraine, in a follow-up segment the next day, reflected on the event, admitting she might have phrased things differently but maintaining the importance of dialogue on evolving standards. Interviews with industry insiders revealed mixed reactions. Some saw it as a necessary pushback against aggressive hosting, others as a missed opportunity for reconciliation. The fallout extended to Eugene's projects, with renewed interest in his older films, ironically boosting streams. Lorraine's ratings spiked, the controversy proving a double-edged sword. Public figures weighed in, from comedians siding with Eugene on creative freedom to activists praising Lorraine for highlighting issues. The event underscored broader tensions in media, where promotional appearances clash with probing inquiries. Eugene's team issued a statement reinforcing his stance, while Lorraine's producers reviewed protocols for guest comfort. Online forums dissected every word, analyzing body language and tone for hidden meanings. The paragraph explores this post-incident ripple, capturing how a single exchange amplified into a cultural conversation, affecting careers and perceptions. Days turned into weeks, with Eugene appearing on other shows to discuss the incident lightly, turning it into comedic fodder. Lorraine invited similar guests with caution, learning from the experience. The viral nature ensured longevity, with parodies emerging on sketch shows. Ultimately, the clash humanized both parties, revealing vulnerabilities in the polished world of television. Fans speculated on potential reconciliations, but neither pursued it immediately. The narrative arc from shock to reflection highlighted resilience in entertainment, where controversies often fuel comebacks. As time passed, the incident became a case study in media training, advising stars on handling ambushes gracefully. As the dust settled from Eugene Levy's heated departure from Lorraine Kelly's show, the broader implications began to unfold across the entertainment landscape, prompting discussions on the ethics of live interviews and the balance between promotion and provocation. Eugene, retreating to his home base, focused on his ongoing projects, using the buzz to highlight his travel documentary's themes of understanding diverse cultures. Interviews he granted post-incident were selective, where he elaborated on his frustration without bitterness, stressing that respect must be mutual in any dialogue. Lorraine, meanwhile, faced internal reviews at her network, with executives praising the ratings boost but cautioning against future escalations. She appeared on podcasts to share her perspective, admitting the exchange caught her off guard too, and vowing to refine her approach for sensitive topics. Social media continued to churn, with polls showing a split public opinion, 55% supporting Eugene's walkout as empowered, 45% viewing it as evasive. Celebrity endorsements poured in, from Schitt's Creek co-stars defending Eugene's character to talk show hosts empathizing with Lorraine's role. The incident inspired articles in major publications, analyzing the evolution of morning TV from fluffy to confrontational. Eugene's fanbase organized support campaigns, streaming his catalog in solidarity, while critics compiled think pieces on comedy's cultural impact. Lorraine's show adapted, incorporating more pre-vetted questions, yet retained its edge to keep viewers engaged. The viral clip evolved into remixes and memes, some humorous, others critical, extending its reach globally. Eugene reflected in a magazine feature, noting how the event reinforced his values of authenticity over appeasement. Lorraine, in her memoir excerpt released later, described it as a learning moment, humanizing her public persona. The fallout influenced industry practices, with agents negotiating stricter topic boundaries for appearances. Public discourse shifted to broader issues like mental health in media spotlights, with advocates calling for better support systems. Eugene's documentary premiere benefited from the publicity, drawing larger crowds curious about the man behind the headlines. Lorraine's ratings stabilized at higher levels, the controversy cementing her as a bold host. Online communities formed around the topic, debating accountability versus forgiveness in art. As months progressed, the sharpness dulled, but the memory lingered as a cautionary tale. Eugene and Lorraine crossed paths at events, exchanging polite nods without reconciliation, respecting each other's space. The paragraph chronicles this extended aftermath, illustrating how one fiery exchange rippled into systemic reflections, shaping narratives in entertainment. Ultimately, it underscored the power of live TV to spark real change, turning personal clashes into collective lessons. Fans hoped for a future joint appearance, but both moved forward independently, their careers enriched by the experience. The incident's legacy endured in media studies, cited in classes on communication dynamics. Eugene's humor returned in full force, poking fun at the walkout in stand-up bits, while Lorraine embraced transparency in her hosting style. The balance struck between them symbolized resilience, proving that even heated moments could foster growth and understanding in the long run. Reflecting on the entire saga of Eugene Levy's contentious appearance on Lorraine Kelly's show, it became evident that what started as a routine promotional slot evolved into a pivotal moment highlighting the intersections of celebrity, media, and societal expectations. Eugene, ever the professional, channeled the energy into creative outlets, collaborating on new scripts that subtly addressed themes of misunderstanding and redemption. Lorraine, adapting with grace, introduced segments on constructive criticism, inviting experts to discuss navigating controversies healthily. The public's engagement waned over time, but the incident left an indelible mark, influencing how interviews are conducted industry-wide. Eugene's post-event interviews revealed a deeper introspection, where he advocated for empathy in critiques, drawing from his own vulnerability exposed that day. Lorraine's show flourished, with guests now more prepared for depth, fostering richer conversations. Social media's role in amplifying the clash was scrutinized, leading to calls for platform algorithms to prioritize context over sensationalism. Both figures emerged stronger, their reputations intact among core audiences. Eugene's documentary received acclaim, praised for its authentic exploration of human connections, indirectly crediting the incident for heightened awareness. Lorraine penned opinion pieces on the value of tough questions, balancing them with compassion. The event inspired fictional retellings in TV episodes, satirizing the drama for laughs. As the year closed, Eugene and Lorraine indirectly acknowledged each other in awards speeches, hinting at mutual respect. The paragraph encapsulates the long-term resolution, where initial fire forged lasting insights into communication and accountability. Ultimately, the kicked-off exchange served as a catalyst for positive evolution, reminding all involved of the humanity behind the headlines. Fans celebrated the growth, sharing stories of how the incident prompted personal reflections on judgment and forgiveness.